This has reached people, had people collaborate and come together in a way that I can't imagine another project doing. And the real beauty of this is it is always available and open to the public.
An art trail connecting communities within the Poconos. Welcome to Pocono Mountains Podcast, everyone. It's your host, Jim Hamill. This is Season 4, Episode 22. If you've listened to the podcast much, you'll know we feature a lot of history, art, and culture, as well as the great attraction and hospitality properties all across the 4 counties of the Poconos. Art and artists don't just reside in museums and galleries and studios, though. Now, the Creative Community Arts Trail in Wayne County is bringing the art outdoors and onto the map for travelers, locals, and more. The concept: to create points of interest along Route 191, north and south of Honesdale, and establish sites to visit, which serve as a source of pride for each community as well. We'll have more on the upcoming Pocono Mountains magazine in October. But first, we hear about how the Equinunk location of the Creative Community Arts Trail came to be in just a bit. The Poconos is a year-round destination for millions with 2,400 square miles of mountains, forests, lakes, and rivers, with historic downtowns and iconic family resorts. It's the perfect getaway. You can always find out more on PoconoMountains.com or watch PTN, the Pocono Television Network, streaming live 24/7. Now, back to the episode. I was happy to spend a few hours this last weekend with dozens of others celebrating the dedication of Equinunk's stop along the Creative Communities Art Trail. It's the Equinunk Historical Society along 191 north of Honesdale. It's a community steeped in history, yes, but also with an artistic tale to tell. Enjoy. Hi folks, I'm here with Connor Simon. We're both Honesdale natives, grew up in the area here, but now have made this our home, and we are at this spectacular location, the Equinunk Historical Society, north of Honesdale on Route 191, part of the, Connor, could you say it for me? It's CCAT.
Yes, the Creative Communities Art Trails Project.
And this is the northernmost part of that Art Trails project. You helped spearhead this location. The Community Foundation is kind of like taking the lead on both of those locations, including Newfoundland, which we'll speak about in another podcast episode. But for this Pocono Mountains podcast, Connor, how great does it feel to have so many people turn out for the unveiling of this project here today?
I could not be happier. This is a better turnout than I expected, and I was hoping that it would be good. Could not have asked for better weather, could not have asked for better people to come and represent this project. I'm so incredibly happy.
And when you answer, just look over this way. So that
Towards you?
Yeah, don't worry about the camera there.
No problem.
As we sit here just over your shoulder, I'm looking at this, die cut, steel cut, right? Beautiful wayfinding map that's backlit at night. I'm sure it looks amazing, but it's also incorporated more than just art and more than just places, but the Lenape traditions and heritage here in this river valley area near the Delaware River. So what was the importance of bringing those elements in here and including, the prayers and the overall sentiment that you've brought here today to this unveiling?
The purpose of the Trails Project in the first place, the purpose of the Art Trails Project is to highlight and showcase all of the small communities that are abundant in Wayne County. There's a lot of little places that are, I'd say, off the beaten path, but we're all on Route 191, that are lesser known, lesser explored. And each one of these locations is special for its own reasons. Equinunk, when we decided to pick a spot up here, we wanted to really showcase things that were important for this community. And one of the important pillars of this community is its relationship with the Lenape people who are here. Because of the Historical Society's relationship with the Lenape, it would be silly and an insult not to include them into the work that was being placed here. So that relationship was already formed with the Historical Society. It made sense to showcase their artwork here in our sculpture park.
And that artwork and that implementation of it did not just happen like that. You guys were intentional about holding these sessions, being deliberate about bringing people into the fold here to determine what was incorporated here, including how the art was deployed, what pieces were, what elements are being incorporated as well. So this was not just an overnight success. This was, months upon months upon months of getting together and both formulating the plan, but now executing the plan.
months of work. I met Vicky in January, and it was a perfect match at first sight. She was excited to offer the Historical Society as a place to convene, and very quickly as a place to be the site for the artwork. We had been meeting once or twice a month, every month since February, sometimes more when there were specific goals to be met. But the committee was made up of a really unique and diverse group of people. They were all people who lived or had a vested interest in Equinunk. They were all incredibly talented and had their own special skill set to bring to the table. And amazingly, everyone got along so well. In a community this small, it's really very tightly knit, and there was a lot of really great communication between people. Ideas flowed freely, and the execution of it, although complex and it took a long time, it was really smooth.
Yeah. And your artwork is here too.
Yes.
Then that's got to be a source of pride as well, right?
It feels great. I feel like I am an honorary member of the Equinunk community. I've spent so much time here, and I've gotten to really know some of the movers and shakers in this little place that I feel proud to have some ownership to it too. It feels like it's a place that I'm a part of. I have some pieces that are on display here with some other artists, and it feels good to be assimilated right into that group. It feels like it fits.
That's fantastic. I mean, so many people turned out today to see this on what is its official first day of being complete. I know there are like some finer details left to kind of put together, but on the whole now, this will be something that people can come and visit along with the Newfoundland site as well, and all along this 191 trail, appreciate the community, the art, and the spirit of community that exists, all the way along this spine of Wayne County, right?
Absolutely. What I think makes this so special is that this isn't just the opening for this location. It is, and it's great, and we're showable, we're ready. But it's the proof of concept that this Trails project can start, and it's working, as it has. It's the first location of several that are coming more to bridge the county together. This is really a day of a new beginning, and it feels great to revel in that.
That's fantastic. Give me just a little bit of background then from, you guys sought grants. PA Council on the Arts, right, was
yes.
one of the bigger funders of that. And so Community Foundation has really kind of like helped along with the county to determine how this gets deployed. But that means, it requires volunteers. It requires stakeholders in the communities to all kind of envision what they're envisioning now. So the same kind of process has happened in Newfoundland. And so this same kind of process has happened here. So it must just feel really good to have, the Community Foundation really kind of be a spearhead and support team for all that.
It really does feel like it's on the cutting edge. The idea, although is not new, trails are an ancient idea. But what feels so fresh about it is that the state had some faith in us. We put together an application, we being a collective of multiple nonprofits in Wayne County, put together an application. The state said, okay, we'll take a chance on this. And the Community Foundation behind that said, we'll throw in the support. And PMVB was so gracious to throw in some support as well. And I don't think anybody really knew what it was going to look like or what shape it was going to take when we started. And being perfectly honest with it, I still don't know what these other 4 locations are going to look like.
Right.
But that's the beauty of it. We don't have to know exactly every nut, bolt, board, paint stroke. It doesn't really matter because it is so place-based. As long as the integrity maintains that it belongs to the people in which the community that it's placed in, it's going to be great. And it's going to reflect that community. And it's exciting to see that as a proof of concept come true.
Creative Community Arts Trail here in Wayne County on Route 191. You can find out more information with the Arts Alliance, right?
Yep.
Right.
WayneCountyArtsAlliance.org. They've got a page dedicated to the Equinunk location. They've got a page dedicated to Newfoundland, though it's still in the works.
Of course.
And at some point, they'll have their new locations once they're added.
That's awesome. Connor Simon with the Wayne County Community Foundation, also an artist himself and somebody who's helped to make this day possible and many days in the future here at Equinunk Historical Society and this spot on the map. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now we talk with Tom Holmes, not just one of the artists featured here, but one of the people who helped actually put all the pieces together here in Equinunk for all to see. You look at like the transformation that this area has undergone because of your handiwork, your artist vision, but so many other people. You must feel a sense of pride.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The work represents me. I'm always interested in doing projects that are worthy, and this is one of them, and it's worked out really well, and we completed in time.
You did, right. And I mean, that's the key, right? Because winter comes. But, describe just behind you here what you have. You have several artists. You have, how you kind of step things up along the way. They're equally, different in some ways, but they also offer these interchangeable spaces for people to express their own art and creative spirit.
Yeah. So we're calling them the columns, and there's 10 of them. They start at 24 inches and they go up to 96 inches. There's 6 inches difference between each one. And then we have the niches in the upper 5, and they're just straight steel. What's nice about them is they're kind of a way station for other art as well. So every year they can change art out, but they do have a sculptural tone to them as well, the way they look together. They can also be disassembled if they want. They could spread them out around any town or area. If they put in 2x2 cement pads, they could have 10 different pieces in 10 different areas, and then have one large monumental piece on the cement slab. So the slabs are working, the steel coming together. So it's been a good project that way.
When you look around here too, the Historical Society, quiet little Equinunk, right? Mm-hmm. But along Route 191 and this vision to create this art trail along this corridor, all the way down Newfoundland, the mosaic and the tiling down there, mm-hmm. and the differentiation of all these different communities and their artists or their visitors. I mean, just the way in which now this can be experienced must leave you excited to see what people take away from each of these places, including Equinunk.
Right, absolutely. It's a nice place to stop now. We did the picnic table and a chess set as well, and we have a sign, kind of a wayfinding sign in a sense, which is nice and is lit at night. There's a lot to see here now, and then we have the Lenape display as well as information on their cultural input as well. So, it's more integrated than less integrated now.
Yeah, and we very much appreciate, I think, not just your time as an artist, but also kind of like the one who built this, right? Like put it all together in a lot of ways too. So you must also be able to now look many years into the future and look back on this as this contribution to the community in which you reside.
Yeah, I think that was, we just settled into Equinunk 3 years ago. We were down in Greeley for over 30 years, and so new property there, and so it was a good thing to do after I'd gotten the house built, to do something for the new community. I think that was good. But it's going to be, the trail itself will, I think, could have a lot of potential, especially as the spaces expand with more artwork and, give people a chance to develop them over time. It could be something fairly well put together and a place for people to stop and see and do things. Yeah, it'd be nice.
In all 4 seasons that we have here.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, and it is good to think about art that works in the winter as well. I used to do ice installation in Milford in their park for 10 years. I did those big ice, sprayed ice events. So, some kind of winter art is good as well. So there's a lot of opportunity in the small towns, and people are always willing to come together and put their mark on it and, help contribute. So it's good that way.
Great work. Tom, again, thanks for your efforts on this project and all the things to come.
All right. Thank you, Jim.
Equinunk Historical Society and the Creative Community Arts Trail. Next up, Newfoundland, south of Honesdale on the Creative Community Arts Trail. That's on Route 191 as well, and you can find out more at PoconoMountains.com. Thanks for listening to Pocono Mountains Podcast. We'll have a new episode each week highlighting lots of the fun things you can experience while you're visiting the Poconos. Subscribe and leave a review and or comment on whatever platform you listen. Now you've got the Poconos in the palm of your hand.
For places to stay and shop.
And stories about the Pocono Mountains.
Go to PoconoTelevision.com to download the app and get the information you need for your visit with us.
We're back. Thanks for listening to Pocono Mountains Podcast. I'm Jim Hamill. Now for a Pocono Mountains Podcast Extra. We have begun Hispanic Heritage Month, which runs through the middle of October. And a few years back, I was fortunate enough to share a story with the folks at the Monroe County Historical Association as they work toward preserving the heritage of the Hispanic community right here in the Poconos. Enjoy. Inside this cardboard box on the shelf is a journey into the past. Professor Anthony Stevens Arroyo wears a big smile, helping to add to this collection of Hispanic heritage in the Pocono Mountains with Amy Lizer at the Stroud Mansion.
Amy, I have more things for our collection.
This all began with what Stevens Arroyo believes is a way to foster a sense of belonging for Hispanics here in the Poconos.
They give roots to Latinos here in the Poconos to know that they're another generation. And there was a generation before them that gave them a ride. It's up to them to rebuild and build on those foundations for the generation that follows them.
The collection contains items, whether they're newspaper clippings or proclamations from the governor of Pennsylvania, pieces of the past that have cultural significance not only during Hispanic Heritage Month, but year-round and for years to come.
This is from 1979 in January.
Thanks to the collaboration with the Monroe County Historical Association, this collection of Hispanic heritage is poised to grow, just as is the local population of those who identify as Latinx, Spanish, Latin American, and more.
I mean, if you go down Main Street, Stroudsburg, look at all the wonderful different restaurants we have. Everything from Middle Eastern to Hispanic food. You know, we didn't have that 100 years ago. So it's just wonderful, and it really adds such a flavor to our community.
We have these restaurants with food from different countries. You know, Hispanics are very welcoming to their homes to celebrate. And when they celebrate, they include you.
Christina Luna now calls Monroe County home. Christina came to the United States from Spain and has found a community here with a shared language and a love for each other.
This is like a melting pot because there are people from many different countries that I would have never met otherwise.
According to Professor Stevens Arroyo, that melting pot began in the 1970s when Hispanics first moved to the Pocono Mountains in larger numbers. First for opportunity, jobs at the popular Pocono resorts. And now a second and third generation know this as their home, while still culturally tied to their ancestors' countries of origin.
These young people, they've never lived in those countries. So what they know about the cultures here today, and that's this cauldron, this stew pot, if you wish to call it that, where all the different little pieces savor the other one, and together they make a wonderful dish and meal that's going to keep the United States going, I think, for our next generation.
Bits of history from many cultures, all intertwined with this region's past, and now the present and future. Jim Hamill for the Pocono Television Network. Wishing everyone a very enjoyable Hispanic Heritage Month. Our website, PoconoMountains.com, is also translated into Spanish. Just head to PoconoMountains.com/Spanish. We hope you enjoyed Pocono Mountains Podcast. Please remember to subscribe anywhere podcasts are available. Come visit us in the Pocono Mountains. Plan your trip today.